Aeronautical Society.
We're going away for the weekend and Dad's getting the car ready. As you'll probably know, it can take a bit of time to get ready for a trip. You need to remember your bags and make sure they're packed safely in the boot. And if it's a long journey, you don't want to forget your drink and sandwiches either. But it's not just the bags and food that you have to check. You do want to get there after all. That means you might need to top up the fuel and check the oil levels. And don't forget to check there's water in the windscreen washer bottle, there's enough air in the tyres, including the spare, and that you have some spare bulbs and fuses in case one blows. It all helps make sure your journey is as smooth as possible. Right, ready to go. Well, it's kind of the same for planes. When passengers leave the plane at its destination, it might be the end of their journey, but for the airline staff, work will only just be beginning to get everything ready for their next flight. One of the first things to be done is to have a tidy up. The aircrew will remove as much rubbish as possible from the seats and floors, and then cleaners will go through to give everything a thorough going over. There's also a special cleaning job that needs a bit of extra help. Well, if you think about it, the average passenger plane can carry several hundred passengers and as many as 10 toilets. Getting rid of the toilet waste is a job for extractor machines. Tubes are attached to the outside of the plane to slurp it all into tanks. After all the waste has been taken away, it's time for new supplies to be brought in. This includes things like fresh water, not just to drink but for the toilets and sinks, clean laundry, and food and drink for the passengers. And don't forget the aircrew too. They need supplies as well. From bread rolls to toilet rolls, whatever will be needed for the flight has to come on board somehow. If you are waiting for a flight and looking at the airfield, sometimes you can see vans and lorries driving up to planes with supplies. Maybe you can guess what they're delivering. There's another very important supply that the plane will need. And here's a clue. It's fuel. A passenger plane can use as much as 12 litres of fuel every kilometre. That's the same as 6 large bottles of drink. And with a summer holiday to Spain being around 1,500 kilometres away, well, that's... Well, it's a lot. 18,000 litres, in fact. Or 9,000 bottles worth. Major airports have complex pipe networks underground, so you won't see many fuel tankers driving around. The maintenance team simply use a tube from the ground that clicks directly into the hull of the plane. Most large planes will have 3 or more tanks located in the wings, as well as along the main fuselage. As well as refuelling the plane, maintenance engineers will also check over the outside and the inside of the aircraft to ensure that everything is working perfectly, from the amount of air in the tyres to the onboard entertainment system, as well as ensuring the windows are clean. Pilots make notes during all flights of anything that isn't working quite as it should. The engineers will look through these reports and fix any problems. The plane will only be allowed to take off once all these repairs and checks have been made. If it's icy or been snowing, there's another important step to keep everyone safe. The plane must be de-iced. Ice can make moving parts of the plane get stuck. Now, your parents might use a scraper or sprays on the car windscreen. Well, they use sprays on planes too. Just very massive spray nozzles from tankers using special chemicals. In no time, the plane will be ready and the next group of passengers will board ready to take off on their adventure. And that sounds like Dad's got the car ready for us to leave. See you next time!
Amy's Aviation, with support from the Royal Aeronautical Society. Find out more about aviation at pumpkinslive.com/aviation.